Hello, welcome to this video. It's called How to Overcome Fear 101 because we are going through loads of surface level problems and also deeper psychological problems. And of course, the ways how to overcome them. So let's get growing. So we are going to progress through this topic from the most surface levels to the depths of our minds, and that's because I guess that since you searched for this video, you will need to record something soon, and you know the surface levels are the easiest to manipulate, so you can make some progress and then work on other stuff, the more complicated and complex stuff throughout the months and years of your career. It may sound like a totally unrelated to the fear of filming yourself, but actually the uncomfortable environment could highly contribute to the bad feeling throughout this whole situation of filming. And you have to concentrate on that and try to find out where are you feeling good. The first question to ask is, are you filming somewhere familiar? Like filming outside or in someone else's house could look really nice. But you can care about this later when you will have actually the audience that you have to look good for. Now try to find something that feels familiar and comfortable for you, like your own room or somewhere in your house. You can actually ask everybody in your home to leave you alone for this time of filming, or you can even lock yourself in the room if you will feel comfortable doing that. It's like, relaxation or meditation. You'll just have to find a calm spot and do your thing. Well, body postures, we're not gonna talk about what looks good on you, because that's something highly individual and you have to look at your finished videos and see what, suits you the best. But we're gonna talk about what makes you feel comfortable for the shooting, what will make you concentrate on the video. And the biggest difference is between stand-up shots and the sitting shots. Stand-up shots give you lots of freedom of movement. If you are more expressive or energetic, you can use that space for bigger gestures or different body postures. And also it's a bit easier to get excited over things when you are standing or into a more like a theatrical mood. But on the other hand, sitting is more peaceful, and the good chair or couch could give your body full support, so you don't have to care where all your body parts are going, and it's really up to you. You can try both and see what suits you the best. I personally like both of them because sitting gives me more concentration on one specific topic, and when I'm standing up I'm usually more expressing myself and be more creative, Well, I haven't seen many lying videos, but if you could make it work and it will be comfortable for you, it could be your uniqueness. And from a psychological point of view, there's also a difference in a way how you're sitting. This shooting of the video could be considered a communication between you and the person, the viewer in the camera. And the different positions will shift how you feel about the communication and also how the viewer will feel about the communication. You can be sitting straight like I'm doing right now in so-called confrontational view, confrontational position, or you can sit a little bit to the side and it could be a little bit milder. And you can also be sitting behind the table, as it will give you some support for your body and for your hands. Some people see it as a great thing to do, and it will hide a little bit of your nervosity. If you're shaking your feet or you're nervous with your hands, so you can just lay them on the table. But from a more long-term point of view, it could look like you're hiding something, so don't get used to it too much. Well, speech problems could be really superficial, but also core problem for somebody else. I listed them in the surface level problems because I guess that if you have the severe speech problems, you already are in contact with some professional, and also it's really individual, and I'm not able to give you any general advice on this topic. We can talk about it on the stream, but not in the YouTube video. And for usual likers and worse, it's really something that everybody does, and I'm doing it too, It gets worse when there is a stress or like stressful event, and filming yourself is a stressful event, so you can expect that it will be even worse. And don't get mad at yourself when you will see footage with a lot of because it's something really natural. It's something that we all do, and you know, just post it, and then when you will have the finished videos, you can scan through them and have a look what was wrong with you or what you don't like about your speech, and try to improve it later. But just, you know, post it. But don't try to burn all the problems at once like some crusader. It could be really more than you can handle. And my strategy to overcome a lot of these problems was to make a structure. I did full scripts of everything that I wanted to say, and then I learned 3 or 4 lines and deliver it to the camera, you know, and then, you know, I cut it and another shot, and then I was gluing it together in post-production. I think it's a great idea for beginners because it will lift loads of duties off your head. But also, as we are getting to the age of the surface problems, it gets kinda unclear. Everybody has different need for a structure, and also different content have its own soft rules. For example, if you're vlogging, you know, you can use a little bit more freestyle, or if you're doing some kind of a freestyle philosophy or something, it's really up to you. I recommend doing at least the bullet points. You don't have to read them during the filming, but you know, just writing them down will make a structure in your own head, and it could be a little bit more clearer for the viewer. Some people are just doing some kind of sections and they brainstorm all the ideas about the specific section, and then they are putting them together while they are filming. It also could be a possible way, but I highly recommend putting a few hours into making a full script, and then, you know, learning, as I said, few lines at a time and delivering it. You can also read them multiple times and just see how you want to tell them, you know, like the difference in the delivery of the message could make it more interesting, and it could break the stereotype for the viewer. But don't be afraid if you will need to change something in a script, just change it on the go. Some things look really good on the paper, but they doesn't sound that good. The number one psychological issue that we struggle with usually is just a lack of habit of filming yourself. It's kind of obvious that everybody who's starting with filming is having problems with it. There's just a variable how much of struggle it is for you personally. Like lots of people, including me, we just love challenges, and we don't mind spending hours and hours on some little details or things that will seem as a detail for some experienced content creator, just because we want to get to know it and find our best option. And we don't mind when things doesn't go well, but some people have really a lot of trouble when they're filming one take for 20 times and they just realize that none of the takes are what they want it to be. It's just normal. Everybody is starting somewhere. If you're feeling like a newbie, it's probably right, because you are new to the thing. Just let yourself to grow and learn a little bit more, and then you will feel more comfortable and you'll do things faster and better, and the next takes and all the other takes will look better than the first one, you know. Just don't be afraid of it. Problems with passion are usually tied to the motivation, and you will need to be passionate about this job to do it. I mean a passion to do specific takes, but also long-term for this whole journey. Whether you are trying to have a new hobby or you are trying to have a full-time job out of it. We have to dig deeper with this one. Why do you want to film on camera? You don't have to be humble and refuse any monetary reward. It's okay to want money for work, and this is really hard work. But do you really have a goal, like helping people who are super lost in a huge selection of keyboards, or sharing your story and broaden people's point of view? Or do you enjoy filming, editing, exploring keyword opportunities, or social media marketing? Or are you just an extrovert that just want to be out there in the world? I'm asking because you will really need something that will hold your head above the water during the learning process, you know. And if your passion will be visible on the camera, you have really higher chance to be successful as a YouTuber. But unfortunately, hunger for wealth doesn't serve as a good motivational engine, and people like that should maybe consider different, more lucrative kind of job, or just find what they really love, because you can do anything on YouTube, you know. It's a land of open opportunities, and any content could find its own audience. And we're slowly getting to the bottom. A need for perfection is also a big problem for a lot of people, and it could be a lot of things, including a lack of self-confidence, which is our last point, so more about it later. Now we're actually in such deep waters that I'm slowly losing my ability to give you general tips, but I will try. Just remember that you can always hop into one of my live Twitch streams, and you can anonymously discuss your story with me and the community. Link is in the description. So first, you will actually have to understand that creating content is actually a job. It's more than a regular job because it's a freelance entrepreneurship, but you're probably more familiar with regular job opportunities, so I will explain some things with this analogy. So when you're considering a job, you actually have to have some kind of passion for the job, or otherwise you will be stuck with something that you hate. And trust me, people can be stuck and drained from this otherwise perfect job for anyone, like content creators, you know. So when you think about this as a normal hiring process, there is no selection, so you are hired. Congratulations. Do you think as a new employee that you will have to do top products for YouTube's best clients? Of course not. You're just in a probation period. Yes, of course, this is a little bit different because you're not getting paid for that, but until you will hit a partner, you're still here to learn, you know. In a normal corporation, it would be a bunch of guidelines and maybe a more experienced colleague. Here you are stuck with people like me, and most of the growth that you are going to do is your work and your time, you know. But why am I talking about this all? Well, your first videos have to be bad in some way. Like, you can make them private later if you will be embarrassed or something, but trust me, nobody will care about them. It's actually harder to get them around than, you know, preventing their spreading and everything. The YouTube algorithm will just shut them off if people wouldn't click on them, or if they will leave during the watch time, you know. So that's really not the problem. I can't even remember how many times did I make somebody upset by badly blended Cosmopolitan, or by just a different size of a salmon than customer wanted in different position, or how many times did I burn the burger, you know. Learning takes weeks, sometimes months, and for my position, for example, it took 5 years on a university to become a psychologist, and my professional growth isn't even over yet, you know. So when you will be raging over 20 imperfect shots, or when you will be obsessively shooting another and another and another and another shot, you know, to make it perfect, just stop, step back, have a look at it, and just, you know, move to the another shot. Just don't make it perfect. Try to remember the rule of any periodical publishing, you know, published is always better than perfect. Just remember this one, you know, and, you know, make it, find the best shots out of it, play with the post-production. It will be a challenge for you to make it somehow acceptable, even though you don't think it's looking good, you know. Just try and publish it and review it and learn from it. And then do it again. Just give yourself time to grow, you know. And if you're so afraid that someone will judge your work, well, 0 views mean 0 judgment, you know. But of course, you don't have to publish it. There is a way, but you have to consider it done at some point. Just, you know, stop working on it, start reviewing. Show it to your family, friends, ask for feedback. But working on one project endlessly is a bad habit to have in a publishing business. Not only because you will not publish anything, but also because you will never see how much better was your new project compared to the last one, you know. And since we're talking about the fear of a judgment, well, let's move to the last point. The lack of self-confidence is one of the most usual and also most severe problems that could hold you back from pressing that record button. but it is such a huge topic that I can give you only some general tips and general directions, including my stream where we can talk about it more specifically. As I mentioned when I was talking about the perfection, you don't have to be hard on yourself when you are learning. Like, your first videos will be bad, everybody's first video was bad. Just a really good thing to do is to search for your favorite YouTubers, you know, somebody who inspires you, and have a look at their first videos. Some YouTubers changed the channels during the years, and maybe some of them deleted their older stuff so they wouldn't feel embarrassed. But at least you can have a look at my oldest video. And I'm not gonna tell you anything about, you know, statistics and what items should you get, what talents should you get, what legendaries for what anything. But I'm gonna tell you about the fun stuff, about the, you know, most important stuff. How it feels like, you know, how do you play this role? What does it feels like to play against other players with this class? And the specialization, how to... I'm not gonna delete it because I think it's part of my growth, you know, of my career. And I already did almost a year of research on YouTube and video production prior to this video. So you can just imagine how it would look like if I didn't have any theoretical background before that. But still, I gained most of my knowledge and skills through doing, so don't do the same mistake as I did. And don't postpone your video production. Just go, shoot and publish. And make it an event for yourself. Put on some special clothes, buy some lemonade or something that you are not used to usually. I was even talking to myself when I was setting up the lights and the microphone, like if I was directing the whole filming crew, you know. But most importantly, work on your self-confidence a lot. It is the greatest motivation and the best defense mechanism in this career path. You just simply cannot rely on others to pat you on the shoulder and say, good job, new video is out. You have to be that patting hand and, you know, believe in yourself, because if you will depend on recognition from others, you will be also hurt by all the dislikes and, you know, trolls in comment section, because internet is not a really good place sometimes, and only a strong power within could hold you on your path when you will feel low. But if you're afraid to be self-confident because of the pride and selfishness, you're kind of right, the paths are next to each other, but you can still choose only the confidence. Especially with the money and fame that could come to lure you, you'll have to question all your actions and be a little bit more cautious. But anyway, people usually don't have this problem on this side of spectrum. They usually really feel more inferior to other people than superior. Just find your values, set your borders, and don't let anybody to push you under them. You're a great person. Not greater than anyone else, but your ideas have value for this world. And I believe that you will bring a lot of goodness to all of us. Well, this video is already super long, so I guess it's time for you to write that script and press record. I wish you the best learning experience, and actually I would really appreciate if you will share with me in the comment section what are you most excited about when it comes to your video production. Thank you very much for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'm Karel Kylián, and see you on Twitch or in the next video. Stand-up shots give you loads of movement speed. If you are more energetic or expressive or energetic, fish, or different body postures. And also it's a bit easier to get excited when you are standing, or also